Hello there and welcome to my makeup inventory. I have most of my makeup sitting in front of me right now. Now I have all of it, and we're going to go through things category by category, talk about what I've added since last time, what has left my collection since last time, maybe how my numbers have changed, and if that sounds interesting, I guess stick around. This is probably going to be a long video, so let's get started. So like last time, we are going to start out with my base products. I have 3 primers. One of them is just this little mini. I think I have maybe a week left with this product. And then I will be down to the same 2 that I had in my last inventory. This, if I were to classify now, I probably wouldn't say it's a primer, though I really don't use it as anything else, so I guess that's a not unreasonable classification. It's this really thin, sort of pink toned, it almost looks like a foundation or something. It's a serum. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And I mean, it does make my skin look nice. I kind of tend to use this on days where I'm not going to wear any kind of coverage product. It just seems to smooth out my skin a little bit, and I really like it. Foundation, I have one, again, same product I had last time. This category hasn't changed whatsoever. Just looking through the bottle, I'm in pretty bright sunlight. I think I'm about halfway through this foundation. I'm not in any hurry to pan it. Once I do, I'm thinking that I might try to find something a little bit fuller coverage. For concealers, I had these 2, the one from e.l.f. and the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind last time. And since then, I have added a green color corrector from e.l.f. So, one addition in this category. And then powders. Previously, I had 2 powders. One was a pressed powder from Essence, I think, and the other was a powder, a loose translucent powder from Kat Von D. Both of those are gone. The Essence one, the packaging broke, so I tossed it. The Kat Von D one I finished. So I have two powders now, but they're both new. This is a sample of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. I haven't had this for very long. And the other pressed powder that I have is from Physicians Formula. It's in this 6-pan palette, and it is just this one shade. So overall, there hasn't been a whole lot of change in my base category, and I'm overall pretty happy with that. We're definitely starting out on a high note. This is definitely the category that is the most in control, the most minimal, and that I am the happiest with my numbers in. It's all downhill from here. Okay, now we're moving on to cheek products. Previously, I had had one bronzer. It was this Tarte Park Avenue Princess mini, and I still have it, it's still here. I have additionally added a mini NARS Laguna. This was in the birthday gift this year, and I actually have not good dents, but decent little dents starting to form in both of these. Let me close this before the mirror blinds someone. I also have these 2 bronzers from that same Physicians Formula 6-pan that we showed earlier. This is the Muru Butter Bronzer, and this is the Matte Minoy Butter Bronzer. This shade, told myself I wasn't going to swatch, but I guess we're doing a little swatching. This shade is a little too orange and almost olive toned for me. I have not owned this yet through a summer, so I think I'm going to keep it around and try it out in July and August when I'm the darkest I'll get, and see if it works better for me then. Otherwise, though, I think this is going to be gone. I think that when I did my first inventory, which was in November of last year, it made a lot of sense for me to only have one bronzer because I really wasn't wearing bronzer practically ever. Now I've kind of gotten a little bit more into it. I'm wearing it a few times a week, so I don't think that 3 is unreasonable. I think that I could probably pan at least one of these within the next year. So, you know, June, July 2022, I think I could have at least one less of these. And I think that would be a good number for me. I would be really happy with that. So this is a category that's gone up from 1 to 3, kind of 4. And I think in the next year, it'll probably go down to 2, maybe 3. And that'll be great. Next up, we have highlighters. Currently, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 highlighters. I previously had 4, kind of 5. I think you can see that I've scraped out the majority of this bronze shade. It's actually in an eyeshadow pan that we'll see a little bit later in the video, but it was just much too dark to ever function as a highlighter, even mixed in with things, and it didn't make a good bronzer color on me either, so it's gone. It's in an eyeshadow pan, and I am down to these 3 Wet n Wild highlights, which I love. Hit pan on this white one, and I'm not, I think, too far off from hitting pan on the pink. I have these 2 from Physicians Formula, which, again, I'm not gonna swatch. What am I doing? That one is a little bit hard for me to wear. It's very golden. And this one's a little bit easier, but honestly, I think they're both intended for someone who's just a little bit deeper than me, maybe someone who's more of a light skin tone rather than a fair skin tone, but I still wear them. Tickle is really pretty. This is a pink, but it is very warm pink, and it has a lot of gold into it. I have worn this on my eyes before, just as a single shadow look, and it tends to pull very golden on there. I can't really see my viewfinder, so hopefully you can see that golden shift. I can certainly see it in person. I think that I told myself that I wanted to be down to 3 highlighters this year, and then somehow we've gone the opposite direction and I've gone up to 7. Honestly, I'm not super thrilled with it, but I also wouldn't mind having a couple more highlighters, which is, I know, insane. I will say, in my defense, this one doesn't work for me by itself. This one doesn't really either. Honestly, they're probably pretty similar colors. I haven't compared them side to side, but I mean, this one definitely has a little bit more of like a true gold, while this is a bit more of a yellow gold, but similar enough effects that I probably don't really need both. Honestly, the only one that's really a good, perfect highlighter for me is this white. Everything else is actually a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it's not a really classic highlighter, but I can make most of them work, and I can mix all of them to get a wide variety of shades as well as interesting shades that I enjoy. So I'm not looking to get rid of any of these. I don't think it's feasible to pan these, and I honestly wouldn't mind adding 1 or 2 more. I think it would be kind of nice to have sort of a white-based highlighter that shifted maybe a bit more pink, maybe one that shifted a bit more blue, one that was just really super icy. I think those would all be fun and enjoyable. I just need to be mindful and not, you know, have 30 of these next year, because that could be a problem if I don't keep that in mind. There's also been quite a bit of movement in my blush collection. I was previously at 7 blushes, and now I'm at 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. So it's almost doubled in size. The new items are this Tarte blush. I previously did have a Tarte blush, but I have actually finished that, and I redeemed the Tarte birthday reward this year for this blush. This Bare Minerals one is new. This is a mini of their Gen Nude blush in the shade Call My Blush. It's a very pretty classic soft pink. I I have my Wet n Wild color icon in Rosé Champagne. I've hit pan in this, so it is getting good use, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I have this little mini of NARS Orgasm, which I was super, super excited to get. I have wanted this for years, and it's finally mine, and I do like it. I think it's very pretty. This e.l.f. blush is a new addition. I am still trying to figure out if I like this. This is one of their primer infused blushes, and it is so pigmented. Goodness gracious. And it's really powdery too. I mean, wow. I have a hard time blending this out. I honestly don't know if I will keep this around forever. I might declutter this after I give it a really good solid try, but for now it is here. And these 3 powders have all been added. This is the Physicians Formula Happy Booster blush. This is a mini of Dandelion. Here we have a mini of California. I love both of these. This is nice. It's just, you know, it's nothing super special, but I like it. I enjoy it. And then I had these 2 Wet n Wild baked hummingbird blushes. Previously, I have a more peachy one. This is the shade Hummingbird Hype. And I have a more pink one in the shade Don't Flutter Yourself. These are super, super glowy. Personally, I don't wear these as blushes by themselves. I use them as blush toppers or almost more as highlighters. They're a little bit intense for me personally to wear by themselves, but they are very pretty. And I also have 2 multi-sticks. I tend to use them as blush, so I'm putting them in this category. I have one from e.l.f. This is the shade Sparkling Rose. I also have this one from Milk Makeup in the shade Work. This was the Sephora birthday gift last year. And I really don't use these very often. I am really glad that I didn't give in to the temptation to buy a couple more of the e.l.f. ones because they just don't get enough use from me. So with my cheek products, the categories have all grown. I'm pretty happy with where my bronzer collection is. With my highlighters, I'm also pretty happy with where I'm at. I think that this is probably my last summer with this Essence Pure Nude. I've had this for 5 years, I believe, and it's always gotten a little bit of use from me during the summer. It's just too dark for me most of the year. So I think that my Pure Nude highlighter can have its hot girl summer, and then it can be honorably discharged to the trash bin. And the other highlighters I'm sure will still be around in the next update. As far as blushes go, I think I need to just not add any more blush. I'm good, I am set. I probably have like 10 years of blush sitting in front of me, which is insane. But I am glad that I have been adding more minis rather than full-size products. This is a mini, both of these are minis. Tarte is a mini, though honestly these 2 are giant minis, so I mean, I'm glad that I didn't add a full-size Bare Minerals blush, but both of these are still going to take me ages to go through. And of course, the NARS is a mini as well. Yeah, I think going forward, I need to really check and see if there are minis available and try to go for those. But my cheek products are not in a terrible spot, I think. Not too bad. The sun is choosing not to cooperate with my filming plans, so we might continue to just shift further and further over, and you might see more and more of my carpet, but it's fine, no big deal. This is the category that I'm calling eye accessories. It's all of the things that you use on or around your eyes as far as makeup goes that aren't eyeshadow. So we have brow products. I have 3 brow pencils right now, up from 1. Previously, I had just the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. Now I have 2 backups. I guess they're not really backups, but 2 unopened brow pencils, one in blonde and one in auburn, that I will go through once this is gone. I have added an eyebrow gel, which is not something I previously had. This is from Benefit. It is the 24-hour brow setter. I believe this is a deluxe sample, but it is like a size that you can purchase. So that is new. This was around last time. This is the Balm Brow Pow. It is their brow powder, and I'm making quite good progress on that. I think you can see. I am guessing that this will be around in the next update to this inventory, which I'll do probably in like November or December. I don't think this will be around in the one after that. I feel like I could finish this off in a year. We'll see though. Who knows? A completely new category to my collection are lashes. I bought this 3-pack of lashes from e.l.f. as well as some lash glue from Allure. I have not tried these yet. I'm a little bit intimidated, but at some point I will give it a go. Mascara, I have 2. Only one of them is open. I have this CoverGirl Professional 3-in-1 that is open, and I have a mini of the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes that is not. Previously, I was also at 2. I think they are both new. Yeah, they would be. Maybe this is the one that I had in reserve in the last video, but I go through mascara. I switch it out every 3 months. I don't mind having 1 and 1 or 2 backups. That's fine by me. Eyeshadow primer, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus and the NYX Glitter Primer. These serve separate purposes for me, and I haven't added any more. I just still have the 2. That is enough for me. Great. And on eyeliners, I had 3 in the last video. I had this Wet n Wild Mega Last eyeliner, I think. This is in rough shape. All of the lettering is gone, but it is a Wet n Wild pencil. I remember that. It's in the shade Black Brown. And I had this in the last video as well. This is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. I'm really impressed with this. This was a backup in my most recent inventory, but I have since finished off the KVD tattoo liner that I was using at that point, and now I'm using this. I'm very happy with it. I have added 2 new eyeliner products since the last video. The first is a navy retractable liner from e.l.f. This is kind of dry. I'm not super pleased with it, but it does give me a look that I can't achieve with anything else I own, and for that, I'm going to keep it around and use it until it's no longer usable. This is a very recent addition to my collection. This is the Kiko Super Color Waterproof Eyeliner. This is in a gold green shade. I believe it's called like Golden Jungle or something. It is a metallic golden olive, and it is beautiful. I'm super happy with this. I've only worn it maybe twice so far, but I love it. I think it's beautiful. And this category, I definitely don't want any more brow products for a while. I want to finish off this e.l.f. pencil, work on the other 2. You know, this category is one that I don't switch up day to day, so certainly my collection doesn't need to grow. I would not mind having 1 more backup mascara. I'm not going to go out of my way to find one, but you know, if I get one in an Ipsy bag or I see one that I've really wanted to try as an inexpensive add-on, sure. Eye primer, I will probably go in between having a backup of this Wet n Wild one and not, but otherwise I don't see that category changing. Unless I get really into fake lashes, I don't think I'll need more than a couple of pairs as well as a thing of lash glue, so I don't think that will change very much either. And then eyeliner, I kind of want to add a couple more eyeliners, really. I think I'm going to continue playing around with this Kiko one, but if I really do end up liking it, I would not be upset if a couple more colors in this came home with me, because this is beautiful. And I think that that is it for my eye accessories. Now we get into eyeshadow, where things may get a little bit ugly. Okay, here's where things start to get a little bit ugly. This is the eyeshadow category. I previously had 111 pans of eyeshadow, and we will see where we end up with at the end of this segment. These were both here last year. These are from Maybelline, and they're 2 City Mini palettes. I have the one in Matte About Town and in Chill Brunch Neutrals. I have definitely made a lot of progress on these since the last time you saw it. I believe I've hit pan on 3 new shades. I don't think I had pan on this pink. In fact, I know I didn't have pan on this pink. I think that the pan in this gray as well as this cream are also new additions, and I've expanded the pan on several other shades. I've had these for quite a while. These are something that I would like to not have around at the end of 2022, but for now, they're here, and I'm still enjoying them. Additions probably just magically appeared on the screen. I'd forgotten that these were in the back of a drawer. So, I think I was about to start talking about this Wet n Wild palette. I have used up 3 shades from this palette since the last video, and really I think that probably the next few weeks I'm going to just take out this purple as well as this copper. They're really the only shades that I really care about in this palette. The red and the orange I could do without. This transition is like a worse version of this shade that I have from Natasha Denona, and these are both just nothing I care about, so I think that I will soon be down to just 2 shades from here, and I'm really happy with how much progress I've made on this palette. I think I'm really impressed with myself. Next, let's move to NYX. I have 2 NYX palettes. I have this 16 pan palette, which is the NYX Ultimate Utopia. You can see I have 4 pans on this. I didn't have any in the last video, so very happy with that progress. I also have this little 6 pan from NYX. This is the Ultimate Edit in Ash, and I am, I think, pretty close to hitting pan on this ashy shade. I really like both of these. I was having a little bit of a love affair with NYX eyeshadow last year. They haven't come out with anything new that's really interested me, but I was really happy with the formula on both of these palettes. Next, let's talk about e.l.f. I had this palette in the last video. This is the e.l.f. 70s Feels. Got some lotion or something on that. Interesting. It's a really nice palette. It's pretty palette. I wanted it for ages, and I bought it last year and really haven't gotten as much use as I would like to have out of it. So this is something that I'm really going to try to focus over the next month or 2 on just using and getting to know a bit better. Also from e.l.f., I have these 3 bite-sized palettes. I have Pumpkin Pie, which is the brown palette. It's got sort of a warmer set of browns and more of a neutral set of browns. I have Berry Bad, which is the pink one. This is my least used of the bunch. All of these shades, well, at least the 2 metallics, pull a lot more orange on me than they look in the pan, so I just don't find myself using them that often, but it is a nice quality quad. And then the one of these that I've used the most by far is Hot Jalapeno. I did not pan this shade, I dropped the palette, but I am hoping to finish off the little remnants you see in the corners this year, and then I'll count it as a shade that I've panned because that's how we roll around here. The other three colors are really pretty though. This one I have a lot of problems with getting hard pan on these two shimmers, but I still really like the palette. I have these two Kiko duos. These are the Bright Duo. These are their baked eyeshadows. They have two versions of these duos. I have the older one, the baked one, that they are, I'm pretty sure, clearing out because these were on really, really good sale when I bought them. I really haven't played around with these too much. I've only had them for about a week, but I've been using this more yellow shade as a highlighter quite a bit, and it is so pretty. Look at that. You can't see it, but know that it is very pretty. It's kind of a soft yellow shade, not gold, very much yellow. Really been enjoying that. Really been enjoying those. I've been on an eyeshadow no-buy for most of the year, at least that's what I'm telling myself, but the occasional eyeshadow seems to keep creeping into my collection, so I guess I'm on more of an eyeshadow low-buy. It's working out. It's okay. I had this ColourPop Ladybird single in the last video. I think at that point I had not hit pan yet, now I have. It's beautiful. It's a glittery topper shade. And this past year, I have very much been into the glittery toppers. I've added 3 from e.l.f. I have the shades Disco Queen, which is a silver, 24 karat gold, which is a very yellow gold, and Flirty Birdie, which is a rose gold. I've been really happy with these. These are a super easy, fuss-free way to get some really impactful glitter, and they're beautiful. I also, from Influencer, got this Urban Decay shadow stick. This is in the shade Mildew, I believe. It's like a blue-green. It's very pretty. It's metallic. It's not something that I would have ever picked up myself, but I have been enjoying it. So there are all of the in their original packaging items. Now let's talk about these singles. I had a Wet n Wild 32 pan palette in my last video that is no longer with me. Most of the shades are among these singles. I also had a NYX palette that I depotted, as well as a few Wet n Wild quads. I've also purchased some singles. I have, I believe, 6 ColourPop singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6 is somewhere. Oh, there it is. Number 6. As well as 1 Tarte single. And one from Natasha Denona. All of those are new to my collection since the last video. I think all of the other shades, that's not true, with the exception of a duo that I got from Ipsy, which had this Merlot shade, as well as one of these lighter shades. I think it's this one, but I'm really not sure. It's a light shimmery shade. Anyway, most of these shades, though they look very different than they did in the last video, were present in my collection. I have definitely made quite a bit of progress on several of them. I think you can see I have pan sort of scattered around. There is at least one, and probably more, that will not be here in the next video. I've really been enjoying these singles and rearranging them into palettes and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I really don't need to add more eyeshadow, and I'm realizing that I don't think I talked about this Profusion palette. This is the Profusion Glam palette. I got it right around Christmas, so just after I filmed the last video. and it's a really nice quality palette. I am surprised by how much I like this. These two neutrals at the top, Superstar and Recharge, are beautiful, super easy one shadow looks or lid shades with classic and or rich in the crease, depending on what your skin tone is. Such an easy everyday palette. I could totally see someone who is a bit more of a makeup minimalist just having this and being very happy with it. So now for the moment of truth. How many eyeshadows do I currently have? Well, 16, 22, 28, 31, 35, 39, 48, 50, 52, 55, 56, 57, 64, 73, 95, 100, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121. So we've gone up by 10. That's not too bad. 121. That's more than I thought, but I'm not unhappy with this. Yeah. I don't think my eyeshadow collection needs to grow, and there are certainly shades that I would like to pan, but you know, I think I would just like to stay under the 150 mark. I think that would be good for me because I do wear interesting eyeshadow most days. It is pretty rare that I don't wear at least 2 or 3 colors on my lid, and that does switch out from day to day. I don't just wear, you know, the same 3 neutral shades all the time. So I don't mind having a little bit of a larger eyeshadow collection. I also think that within the next year or so, these 3 palettes will all be gone, and I think that it is not unlikely that this will dry out on me. So there will be some movement. I'm not too unhappy with this. And now we have lip products. I have this acrylic organizer that is not full to the brim, but full enough with all of my lip products, and I'm going to just dump it out, as well as add the one backup item that I have in this category. So apologies. I've probably edited that out if the noise is absolutely awful, but I will sort through these and we'll talk about them in just a sec. All right, so here we have it. Previously I had 4 lip glosses, and look at that, here we are still at 4. Actually, I think this might have been in this category as well. We're at 5 lip glosses now. Most of them are not the same. These 2 were around in the last video. This is a NYX Butter Gloss in Tiramisu, and this is the e.l.f. something in Lip Lacquer in Tea Rose. Both of these were in the previous video. These 3 items are all new. I did finish off 2 lip glosses, I suppose. Oh no, I finished one off and decluttered one. I've also actually bought and finished off a lip gloss since the last video. But let's go over what I currently have, which are the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm. I guess this could have been my lip balm category instead, but it's fine in the gloss category as well. I have this mini Beauty for Real gloss. This is in the shade Nudist. And then another new addition to my collection. This is the Kiko Milano Pop Revolution gloss in the shade 5. It is a shimmery orange. Not something that I think I can see myself panning, but definitely fun to have. I think that this will be gone almost for sure by the next update, and I think that there's a good chance that this butter gloss will be gone as well. I feel like I've used a lot of this, but you can't see any progress in the tube, so who knows. In any case, I think that 4 to 5 is a pretty reasonable number of glosses for me. That seems good. I mean, I use them up, so I don't mind having a few. I don't think this category was even in the last video. Certainly both of these products are new since then. I have 2 tinted lip balms. I have this NARS tinted lip balm in Laguna. This is the birthday gift from Sephora this year. Super flattering, love this. I also have this e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. This is in the shade Delight or Delightful? Delightful. And it has a little heart in it. I wear this so much. I don't particularly like it, but I keep finding myself reaching for it. So I don't know what's up with that, but I appreciate it. And it does feel nice on the lips. It's not super hydrating. Certainly, if your budget allows for it, I would choose this one 1,000 times before I got this e.l.f. one. This was one category where I really wouldn't mind if my collection grew. I do like this kind of product. It's easy, it's low fuss, it's pretty, and it's comfortable, so no complaints there whatsoever. Next up, we have my liquid lipstick category. I had 5 in the last video, and now I am down to 4. I finished one, a NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, and I decluttered one because it had started to dry out and just go a little funky on me. These 3 mini Sephora cream lip stains I did have in the previous video. I have not been using these a whole lot, but I like having the option of this super matte, relatively long wearing option available. This Melt Mini in Rebound is a new addition. I've only worn this a few times so far. I actually wore this today, and it is a really pretty color. It is a little bit darker than I think you would suspect based on the tube, but it's really nice. I'm not crazy about the quality, but I like the color enough that I'm willing to look past that. In my previous video, I believe that I had 10 bullet lipsticks, and I am currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm currently at 11, so this number has gone up by 1, and I'm not exactly unhappy about that. I really like everything that I have. I have 4 Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. They're the same 4 that I had in the previous video, so we don't need to go over those in any kind of detail. I also had this Maybelline Almond Rose in the previous video, and this Maybelline Pink for me. This, I am pretty sure, will not be around in the next update. I really don't have a whole lot of that left, and I am working on panning it, and I'm making good progress on it. So I don't think that'll be around in the next video, but it's here for now. This Wet n Wild Peach Please glossy lipstick was in the last video. I think I said that I might pan this year. That's not gonna happen, but I do like it, I do wear it, and I enjoy having it around. This Flower lipstick was also in the last video. This is good. I thought that I might have added a lot, so that's just this category. It's beautiful. I wear it not as much as I probably should, but I love this lipstick. I would be really interested if I got my other lipstick numbers a little bit more under control and maybe buying a little bit more everyday shade in this formula. These 3 lipsticks are new since the last video. I have a NYX Shout Out Loud lipstick, I believe these are called, in the shade Dirty Talk. It is a berry shade. I was actually wearing this one today as well. I think it's showing up darker on camera than it is in real life, just based on what I can see in the viewfinder. But it is a pretty deep berry shade. It's still pretty wearable though, and I like it. I don't love it. I certainly would not go out of my way to purchase another one of these. I got this on really good sale at Target, and I think it worked out to like $1.50 or $2. That seems about the right price for this item. Would not recommend, but I enjoy it. And then I got from Influencer 2 Dior lipsticks. I have the shade 100 Nude Look, which is a nude. And I think you can tell, I do get good use out of these. I am starting to get the embossing on this one and wear that away. I also received the shade 999, which is stunning and absolutely my favorite lipstick. I'm pretty convinced that after I pan this one, which, first of all, I'm pretty sure that I will pan a full-size red lipstick, which is insane. And I think that once I pan it, I will repurchase it. I love this thing. So good. So my bullet lipstick category, the full sizes have only gone up by one, and really I got both of these for free. So I'm not unhappy with the way that that has changed. I've also added 2 categories though this year. The first is this mini lipstick category. I have one from Bite. I actually had a trio of these and I finished off 2 of them. This one that I have left is in the shade Añejo. And the reason I have not finished this one is that's a little bit more of a fall winter color for me. This is a sort of plummy brown. It's very pretty. I love it. I think it looks great on me. It's just more of a fall winter shade. So I suspect that this will not be around in the next update because they're really, I mean, I rolled it all the way up. There isn't a ton of product in these. These 2 are recent purchases. These are from Kiko. I think you can tell I placed a pretty big order on Kiko only a couple weeks ago at this point. It feels like longer, but I have 2 minis. I have not worn either of these yet. I spent way too long looking at these tubes to realize that I probably peeled the name off when I opened them, but this one is a deep purple, which is so pretty. I have not worn this yet, but I'm looking forward to playing around with it. And this more violet berry shade. Again, so pretty. Haven't worn it yet. Looking forward to it though. I have this lipstick duo from e.l.f. This is their Day to Night duo, and I have it in the shade Need It Nudes. So it has a more peachy brown on one side and a pretty light peachy nude shade on the other. This is in the mini category because these are both really small. Though I'm guessing that between the 2 of them, it probably adds up to around a full-size lipstick. And then I purchased this set of Pat McGrath minis. I will show you. I have the shade Executive Realness, which is quite a bold pink. These are all in the Matte Trance formula, which, as the name would imply, is their matte formula. I have the shade Elson 2, which is a red-orange. I've only worn this once, and I need to wear it more because it's beautiful. And I have the shade Soft Core, which is definitely my favorite of the bunch. It is this cool toned pinky nude shade. It's super easy to wear for every day. Beautiful. Really a fan of these. This is another category where I would be fine with it increasing somewhat. I really have grown to appreciate having these tiny little lipsticks, especially in more interesting colors. I mean, even if I end up loving this shade, this really deep purple, I'm never going to go through a full-size tube of this. Honestly, I might not even go through this little tube of it. And there are so many colors like that where I would love to play around, experiments, wear them every once in a while, but I don't need to have so much product like these bullet lipsticks have. I think that this is an area where I could quite happily see myself purchasing some more. And another new category that we have this year are lip liners. I've owned lip liners in the past and not really used them. So recently I had been wearing more color, more bright color, so I decided that I needed to try lip liner again to make especially reds a little bit more low maintenance. And I've really been liking them. I made the choice this time around to only get retractable ones because my issue with them previously was that I just never sharpened them. I would buy them, I would use the tip, get it to the point where I couldn't use it anymore without sharpening it, put off sharpening it for months, and just repeat that cycle. So now I have an e.l.f. lip liner. This is in the shade Red, and I've used so much of this. I think I'm probably half done with it. It's really lovely. It goes really well with that 999 lipstick, so I find myself wearing it quite a bit. It also, I found, works really well with some hot pinks, with any kind of red. Just really a solid product for me. A more recent item, well, 2 items actually, are these Unexpected Paradise waterproof lip liners. I have them in the shade 5 and 6. 6 is a red. It's actually a pretty similar color to the e.l.f. one. So I just haven't messed with this at all yet. I'm just going to keep this sealed more or less until this e.l.f. one is gone, and then I will use it. This shade 5 though is a really fun color. It's this hot coral shade. These are super creamy, so I don't want to mess around with it too much because I'm afraid I will break it again. Already broken it once, but it is beautiful. I think that will be really fun to play around with this summer. I was kind of hoping that it would be a better shade match for Elson or for Kiss Me Coral, which is from Revlon. It's, you know, an orangey coral shade. This is definitely brighter than either of them, but it's fun, and I can see myself wearing it by itself somewhat often. Yeah, I think that if I were to purchase another lip liner, I would probably choose maybe a hot pink shade. That would probably be a good addition for me, but otherwise, I think I'm good. I definitely have enough lip products, but they're a category where I do like to try new things. I suspect that there will be quite a bit of movement in the next video. I think that probably some of these will be gone. I think 1 or 2 of these full-size lipsticks is likely to be gone, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of these have moved out as well and been replaced. Okay, so, alright, so I have too much makeup. We have come to that conclusion. Apparently, I have been filming for 65 minutes, which is insane. And hopefully the video that you will actually see was significantly shorter. If it wasn't, I hope this was at least interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. And I hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye!